Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have just a quick little project I'd like to share with you for my live for today. And thank you so very much for joining me last night. We had a tremendous time with our internet connections, but we were able to get on, and I thank you so much for joining me. And if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it. Eric explains to us the true meaning of Christmas as we talk about the nativity. Now, today, I have a little nativity set that I'm going to show you how to make. And if you like, you can make it. If not, you can purchase one from my Etsy shop. So let's get started. Good afternoon, I'm Linda, the old bird with Gotta Be Handmade. I hope you're enjoying today and your lunchtime break. So I want to show you how to do this before you have to get back. Now let me turn my camera around to my workstation, and just maybe you'll be able to see everything. Let me show you what we are making. This is the little nativity set that I talked about last night that we are going to recreate today. It's a 3-piece set, and next year, by God's grace, as we learned from Eric, I'm going to add some shepherds to it. Okay? Now let me tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need 2 of these tiny little terracotta pots. You need 2 of those. You're going to need a stone. Now you can get them out of your yard from a special place if you collect rocks. It's up to you. I happen to have these that used to be in my aquarium. You're going to need this size wooden balls. Now these are 25.4 millimeters. That's the size you're going to need. You're going to only need 2 of those. And you're going to need these tiny little wooden balls. Now these are 3/8 inch. You're only going to need 1 of those. You're going to need some trim. Now I use this type that looks like rope. This is gold and silver. It's up to you what color you like. It's up to you what color trim you get, what type of trim you get. It's totally up to you. It's totally up to you, whatever you like. And you're going to need 3 different pieces of fabric. And this is the fabric, colors and all, that I chose. And I have 4 because I'm making 2 sets of these for my Etsy shop. But you only need 3. You're going to need hot glue, so you need your hot glue gun, and of course glue sticks. You're going to need scissors. You're going to need E6000 glue. I'm using some Swarovski crystals. But if you don't have Swarovski, you can use any type of crystal that you have. I just love Swarovski because it's nothing more shiny than Swarovski crystals. And I'm going to use pinking shears. That's the scissors with the zigzag edge. It's totally up to you. Once you see how easy this is to create, you'll be able to tweak it for what you like. Now let me show you the first thing you do. The first thing you do is take your little terracotta pot, and the label that's on the bottom, you're going to peel it off. And if there is any glue left, you're going to clean that off. If you can't get it off with your fingernails, that's why I have these wipes that are alcohol wipes to clean your glasses. I just use one of those and wipe it off and wait until it dries. It only takes a second or so to dry. You're going to take one of your bowls, and let me show you what they look like. They have a flat bottom to them. Am I in the camera? They have a flat bottom, and they fit really nicely. Let me show you. There they are. You see the bottom is flat. That sits right on top of your little terracotta pot to create the head. And now to adhere that, let me turn my camera just slightly, to the terracotta, that's what I use, the E6000. It works well. It will hold it on. It works on the wood. It works on the terracotta. I add it to the ball and stick the ball right in the center of that terracotta pot. Now you're going to make 2 of those. And that's what it looks like. And you see this one is dry and it's adhered very well. You're going to need 2 because one is for the Mary, one is for the Joseph. Now, you're going to need 3-inch squares. That's 3 inches, 3 inches. And you're going to need 4-inch squares. Now let me show you what you do. I use my pinking shears because these are offered in my Etsy shop, and I needed a finished edge that won't ravel. So I use the pinking shears. If you don't mind your fabric raveling, you can use just plain scissors. It's up to you. And I made the 4-inch and the 3-inch. Now this is one, if I can get it to part. I cut so many of these. There it is. This is one of the 3-inch squares. As you can see, I use my pinking shears for the edge. And then I'm going to fold it on the diagonal, just like that, to make it into a triangle. Let me show you the one that I finished. And now for that, I just took a little hot glue, a dot right there. Let's see. There we go. Folded it, and you see, sticks together. No problem. Now, this is mine. This is the triangle that I folded. Now, this one, I didn't fold it exact like this one. It's up to you. You can do it any way you like. Let me show you what I did. Now, for mine, I left just a little space. Let me show you the different fabrics. You see this fabric? On one side, it's the red polka dot. On the other side, it is white. It's 100% cotton, but the other side doesn't have the design. So if I folded it like that, leaving a little bit of the back showing, it wouldn't be the identical same color. If you like that and don't mind that, it's okay. For my triangle, I left a little of the back showing. Can you see it? Now this is going to create the baby Jesus. So once this dries, where you put the hot glue, you're going to get one of the tiny wooden balls. Now it doesn't have a flat side. The tiny ones are round all the way around. And all you need is just a little hot glue, and you're going to place the ball right there, just like that. And when you're using the hot glue, it only takes a few seconds for it to totally dry. And once it dries, it's there to stay. That's the head. That's going to be the head. Next, you take that and you fold this end over. Then you fold the other end in the opposite direction, just like that. And you come around with that point in the back. Same thing, take a little hot glue, and you're going to glue that end down. Press it, hold it to make certain that it has stuck together. There we go. And that creates the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes. Now the colors, totally up to you. Now once you have that, the head should be dry, which takes us to the next step in creating the clothing for Mary and Joseph. Let me move that over. While the babe is drying, just making certain that it's totally dry. You're going to have several pieces for the Mary and for the Joseph. That's why you need a, 4-inch square. That 4-inch square is also going to be folded, and it's going to come around just like that. Did you see it? Let me see if I can get my camera a little bit closer. Ooh. I'm sorry, everybody, but it's okay because it brightened up for some reason. You're going to fold it and make it into another triangle, and you're going to place it around the back of the head, just like that, around the back, because we don't want it to show. Now you're going to need, my camera fell down. Oh man, what happened? What happened? I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. You know, I tell you. The old bird just keeps on going. There you go. Once you have this triangle wrapped from the back of the head, and you have it like you like it, you're going to put a little glue, a little hot glue, on the back of the head so that when this wraps around, it will hold it right there. Then, that's going to be, let me bring it around. You're going to have 3 of these. You take another one of the fabrics of your choice, and that one is going to go on top of the head. You see? Like that. You're going to have layers. And it's totally up to you what and how you layer the garment. I did a little bit of research in creating these. As a born-again Christian, I just frequently say the wrong things all the time, and I don't want to let the Lord down and say the wrong things. So I did a little research on the garments that were worn in the biblical times, and this is called a mantle. Now this one, let me get the finished one. This one, Joseph, in the biblical times, what they wore 3 pieces. Next to their bodies, they wore a piece that was like a long t-shirt. On top of that, they had the robe, which is what the light green is. And on top of that, they had this piece. Now, this was like a shawl. This piece for the men, they wore it over their head. They could also take this in and put it across their face if the wind was getting next to them, or they were trying to protect their face from the blowing sands or anything like that. Or they would take this piece and throw it over their shoulders. So the men wore basically 3 pieces. So to create your Joseph, you can put 3 pieces, or you can put 2. I put 2. Now once you get those triangles on your Joseph the way you wanted them, then that's when you take your trim, put it around those pieces, and tie it. I tied mine in just a simple knot, and then I cut it, and then I tied the ends in knots. That's what I did for the Joseph. Now, as you can see, this Joseph, I used solid colors for the Joseph. I used the light green on the top and the dark green on the bottom for the mantle. And this one, I used the same, but I put the dark green on top. Now in the back, you'll have the piece hanging from the triangle. For the Joseph, I just took that triangle and a dot of hot glue and glued it up. For the Mary, you see it's hanging. This little, got a little hot glue. This little triangle piece here is hanging. I'm going to tell you why. For the Joseph, I just turned it up, put a little hot glue, and glued it up. And I used the 3-inch square on the Joseph to make his first piece. So that's why the piece hanging is a little bit smaller than the amount that's on the Mary. And I just glued it up. That's a good shot. For the Mary, I left it just like it was. So when she's sitting, that triangle piece, that corner, is on the ground. Now let me tell you why I did that. In the Bible, it tells us that women shouldn't wear clothing pertaining to a man. In the biblical days, the garments were almost identical, what the women wore and what the men wore. For my Mary, I tied the rope and then put the headdress on where it hangs just a little on top. For the Joseph, I folded his twice, like that. Mary's, I just left it as a triangle. And I tied the piece all the way around on top of the headdress. And I wondered, by them being so similar in what they wore, what could the difference be? And I found out what the difference was. In the biblical times, men were able to show leg and ankle. That's why I used the 3-inch squares to create Joseph's outfit. So part of the terracotta pot is showing almost all the way around. On the Mary, little pot is showing right here, but I made certain to cover the pot all the way around. So I used the 4-inch on the very first triangle that I used, because the women were not allowed to show their legs and ankles. So their garments were longer than the men's. That was one difference. Another difference between the male's garments and the female's garments in the biblical times was that the female wore jewelry. She wore earrings and bracelets that the men didn't wear. Her jewelry was different. So to represent the jewelry, I put the Swarovskis on Mary's headdress on my little nativity. Now let me show you. I have these tiny Swarovskis. There they are. They are small. So I was able to get 3. And they are very easy to glue on. Let me show you. I just put a dot of hot glue. And you can use the E6000 for this as well. You see there? I'll have to clean that later. I'm sorry, guys. But there we go. There it is. And I put 3. Just like that. Nothing gives you the sparkle of a Swarovski. Now, if you like, you could put your Swarovskis all the way around Mary's headdress. That would be pretty. You can put them on the tips. Let me turn it this way so you can see. You can put them on the tips in the front of Mary's headdress. It's totally up to you. Now, as I stated, let me turn my camera so you can see what I'm reaching for. As I stated, you don't have to use the Swarovskis. The Swarovskis are more expensive. I have these crystals that you can get from Walmart. It's up to you. Hello, Eric. But make sure that you put crystals on Mary, because that's one of the differences between the men's apparel in the biblical times and the ladies' apparel. The ladies wore jewelry and their legs and ankles were covered. So her outfit is longer than the Joseph. Now, lastly, you're going to take the babe and you're going to take one of your stones. And if you're making this for yourself and maybe you're going to relocate, you're going to move, get a stone from your yard. Get a stone that's something special to you. If you're making it for someone else, get a stone from your actual yard. Any kind of rock will do. That's going to be our manger. As Eric explained to us, the Lord had meager facilities. Go and look at that video. That's where the animals come from. We're going to take the babe and we're going to glue him right on that stone. Once again, you can use hot glue or you can use the E6000. Now for this, I use the E6000 because through the years, for the one that I made for my mom, it didn't ever come apart. And with the hot glue, you may have an issue with the babe coming off of the stone. So I use the E6000, just put a big wad of that on the stone. And you're going to glue your baby Jesus right on that rock and let it dry. And that's it. You have your 3 pieces to your nativity. Let me put the 3 pieces up here that's completed. You have your, I'm out of the camera. Wait a minute. There we go. You have your Joseph. His garment is shorter than Mary's. You have your Mary with her Swarovskis on the back. Her garment is longer because her legs had to be covered. You have your baby Jesus wrapped in swaddling clothes on the stone. That's your 3-piece nativity. If you decide to make this nativity set, please post a photograph of it. Let me see it. Show me what you did. I'd love to see yours. Tell me if you gave it as a gift. It's the cutest thing. Now look, thank you so much for joining the Old Bird today. I really appreciate your support. And I'm going to come back to you tomorrow with a live. And it's going to be something that you can give to any homeowner. Oh yes, it's going to be special. I really thank you for joining me. If you're interested in purchasing one of these nativity sets, just visit my Etsy shop at Gotta Be Handmade. And you can purchase one right from there. Thank you again for joining me. Have a blessed afternoon. Because you know, for the best, it's just gotta be handmade. Oh, and by the way, don't forget, share this video. At the top, take the link, post it on your personal page, and tell your friends and family to come and join our group to find out more about handmade products. Bye-bye.